My family threw a huge party for my sister on my graduation day. I ate cold leftovers alone, moved out silently, and rebuilt my life. Years later, they reached out for help, and I set strict boundaries. I'm 27 now, but that day I was 22, standing in a cap and gown holding a finance degree I'd worked 4 years for. My sister Elise had always been the sun in our family. Theater, cheer, sorority titles, every achievement came with banners and cake. I was the quiet one. Good grades, track meets they forgot about, an acceptance letter I taped to the fridge myself. "Oh, that's nice, honey," was the soundtrack of my childhood. Graduation day was supposed to be different. I'd texted the details, printed the schedule, left it by the coffee maker. I walked across the stage, scanned the crowd, told myself they were late. They weren't. They were home throwing Elise a party because she'd been named sorority vice president. When I pulled into the driveway and saw all the cars, I thought, they surprised me. I walked into the backyard and saw the banner. "Congrats, Elise." No one turned around. I found the note on the counter. Leftovers in the fridge. I sat at the kitchen table in my gown, eating cold chicken while they laughed outside. Something inside me went quiet. Not angry, just done. The next morning, I packed a bag and moved into the tiny apartment I'd already leased. It took them 2 days to notice. Mom texted, "Where are you?" "Elise wants to borrow your charger." I replied, "Moved out. She can keep it." Dad left a voicemail. I didn't play it. I built a life instead. Entry-level job at a financial firm. Mattress on the floor. Early morning runs. A mentor named Deacon who said, "You listen." That's rare. A girlfriend named Waverly who, after hearing my story, said simply, "You deserved better." I paid off loans, earned promotions, became junior partner by 24. I learned that being alone by choice feels different than being made to feel alone. Then a year later, Elise called. "Dad lost his job. It's bad. Mortgage, mom's hours cut. He won't talk to anyone." I felt the irony hit like a punchline. The invisible kid was suddenly the stable one. I didn't rush. I talked to a therapist. I asked myself what I wanted, not what would make them comfortable. I decided I would help, but on my terms. I drove home with Waverly beside me. Mom opened the door and whispered, "Noah," like I'd returned from war. Dad stood in the living room, smaller somehow. We sat down and I said, "I didn't come for small talk. I want to help. But first, you need to hear this." I told them about graduation day. I ate cold chicken alone while you threw a party outside. I told them about the car Elise got, the acceptance letter no one noticed. I'm not saying you didn't love me. I'm saying you didn't see me. Dad stared at the floor. Mom cried. "I'm sorry," she said, over and over, without excuses. Dad finally said, "I didn't realize it was that bad." "That's the problem," I replied. "It shouldn't have taken me leaving for you to notice I was here." Then I laid out boundaries. I can help with the mortgage. I can connect Dad with people, but I'm doing it as an adult choosing to help, not as the kid begging to be included. Dad nodded slowly. "You grew up." "I had to," I said. "Nobody was going to do it for me." It wasn't cinematic. It was messy and real. Dad eventually found work through a contact I connected him with. Mom started therapy. Elise admitted, "I knew they treated you differently. I just didn't know how to fix it without losing what I had." I didn't blame her. We talk regularly now. I run the firm Deacon retired from. Waverly and I live together. My parents and I are a work in progress. Not fixed, but honest. I still haven't played that voicemail. Whatever Dad said in that minute and 43 seconds was meant for a version of me who believed he was invisible. I'm not that person anymore. If he has something to say now, he can say it face to face to the man I became without their applause.